Hello, everybody. (4A0509655). We also have a review on 4A0509654. So let's go ahead and begin with the arraignments. Mr. Nesbitt, good morning. If you could please unmute and state your name and date of birth for the record.
My name is Joshua Nesbitt. Your date of birth is Christmas Day, 1980.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Nesbitt, did you have an opportunity this morning to go over your rights at arraignment with Ms. Ambart-Sumian?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Ambart-Sumian.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I did talk to Mr. Nesbitt about his the two new charges that he is facing. I talked about the minimum maximum penalty, what the charges are, and what the state has to prove, or I'm sorry, what the city has to prove. I went over his rights with him, answered any questions that he had. We're acknowledging receipt of the complaint, waiving further formal reading, and entering a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, plea of not guilty will be entered on both matters. And those are 2 counts of protection order violation, one alleged to have occurred March 13th of 2024, and one alleged to have occurred June 24th of 2024. Mr. Gunderson, I'll hear from you.
Your Honor, thank you. It looks like the court already set bail and conditions of release over the weekend. I've reviewed all those conditions and I think they're appropriate at this time. Couple other things. On the most recent incident, the matter ending in 655, I'll be filing an amended complaint to correct the date of incident. I believe it should be June 23rd instead of June 24th. And on the tracking matter, the SOC case ending in 954. Your Honor, there's a currently no contact order issued out of that case. I'm going to ask for the court to enter an amended no contact order, increasing the distance restriction from 100 feet to 1,000 feet. My concern is, the recent contacts with the alleged victim, both over phone and at her residence. I believe the court should put more restrictions in place to ensure that the defendant does not continue to violate the order. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gunderson. Ms. Ambart-Sumian?
Thank you, Your Honor. And we're asking for a bail reduction to 30,000. Mr. Nesbitt is denying all allegations. He has a court, I believe he has a trial coming up, and he would like to be able to be released out of custody for that matter. And I believe right now he has COVID, which is, you can imagine, is very uncomfortable while he is in custody, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, if I may add, regarding bail, last week when the court set bail at $30,000, I believe the defendant told the court that he would be unable to post that amount. That was not the case. I believe he was able to bond out almost immediately after this hearing occurred, and now there are the new charges here. So I think the $30,000 was insufficient to ensure that he wouldn't stay out of trouble. I realize that these new charges do predate that incident, but these are 2 new charges and more bail is necessary. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Just where I get to speak.
Ms. Ambart-Sumian, do you want Mr. Nesbitt to?
Your Honor, I did already, explain to him that anything that he, not to talk about the details of any open pending cases, and that, anything that he says can be used against him. So I have already had that conversation. I'm okay with him speaking, and I did let him know that if someone stops him to, not continue on further.
All right, Mr. Nesbitt, before I impose the conditions of release on these 2 charges, is there anything that you would like to say?
Well, first off, never my intention to break any no contact orders. I'm always respectful of the court's wishes. I understand it's important to follow through to the letter. I'm not a flight risk. I plan to show up to all my upcoming court cases. And one of the main reasons why I'd like to get out of here is the level of medical care here and having COVID, and then wanting to keep up on my stuff. I have another case that's going to trial soon, so I want to make sure that I'm healthy and able to attend, and just I want to put all this stuff behind me, and so I want to do it right. And I can't make phone calls or do anything, any research or contact. It's just super difficult in custody. That and I feel like I'm dying. It's extremely difficult in here being sick. And yeah, I respect the court's wishes, and I plan on coming to all my court dates. And there's never my intention to break any no contact orders or any violations.
Thank you, Mr. Nesbitt. I appreciate your words. I'm very sorry that you're ill, and being ill in custody, I'm sure, is not pleasant at all. And so, you know, unfortunately, that's not one of the factors that I'm going to take into consideration. Your likelihood to reappear and the likelihood that you will not commit a violent act are basically the two things that I have to consider. And when considering this, I do have some real concerns. The March incident was an incident where a protected person apparently drove you to your court hearing in Black Diamond. The probable cause shows that, and Mr. Nesbitt, that has not been determined. That's just the probable cause. And so, you know, that is concerning. The incidents with Ms. Perrine are concerning because of the history that has happened between the two of you and the continued violations and the nature of the probable cause materials. Those are all concerning to the court. So court has previously found probable cause on both charges, 4A0509655 and 4A0554098. And the court is going to leave bail set at $50,000 on each. No possession of any firearms, abide by all protective orders. And we're going to address one of those orders today. Use only your true legal name and date of birth, update any address changes with the court, have no criminal law violations, and certainly appear for all hearings. So that will be the order on the arraignment charges. Let's turn now to the pretrial matter, which is 3A0403954. This is actually,
I think they're mixed up in Oakwood.
they are mixed up. So that's the review matter. It's a little bit odd. Okay, so that's the review matter. That's the matter where there is a protection order in place. And Mr. Gunderson, I'll hear from you.
And Your Honor, that's correct. That protection order has a distance restriction of 100 feet. Based on the two new violations with Danielle Perrin, I think it would be important and prudent for this court to increase that distance to 1,000 feet. Your Honor, she is present on Zoom. I have spoken with her today. My office has spoken with her in the past. She's expressed concern about the defendant returning to her residence. And that is the basis for my request to increase that distance. Thank you.
Ms. Perrine, you do not need to make a statement today with regard to the city's request, but would you like to?
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Would you please state your name for the record?
Danielle Perrine.
Thank you. And what would you like the court to know?
I'm concerned about Joshua violating the no contact order again. I quite frankly don't know who he is at the moment. I know he's relapsed, and I know that I have a lot of stuff I need to go clean up still. And I just need some help. And I don't know if he would violate it. That's all.
All right. Thank you. I really appreciate your statement today. I know that's hard to address things like this in open court. I appreciate your words. Okay. Given the number of violations and the nature of the violations, court is going to grant the city's request to increase the distance. I remember the discussions that we've had previously and why I made the 100 feet distance, but unfortunately, Mr. Nesbitt, there's probable cause to believe Mr. Nesbitt was not able to follow through with that distance, and so I am going to order the 1,000 feet. I'm taking a look at that order now. And so, Mr. Nesbitt, you will not be able to go within 1,000 feet of in Black Diamond, Washington, right?
Even though that's I own it.
Well, Mr. Nesbitt, this is what happens with domestic violence related offenses, is even when the parties reside together, the domestic violence perpetrator is the person who has to move out of that residence. Now, Ms. Perrine is free to go wherever she likes. And if she wants to move out, and that is shown to the city that she is no longer there, that's not a prohibition. But we've had these conversations before, and I think we need to address it in court if you feel like you have an entitlement to that particular property again.
Can I ask?
Yes, you may ask a question.
The date in question where I was supposedly in violation, she hadn't been there in a week and has moved all of her stuff out to storage and I was under the impression that I could occupy my residence if she was no longer occupying it, which is why I thought that I wasn't in violation from the no contact order. In the first place, she had been staying at her new boyfriend's house that whole week. And
hey, Mr. Nesbitt, probably don't want to say anything more, okay?
Okay.
Ms. Perrine, would you like to share what your intention is with regard to that particular property?
So I am working I work for Peer Kent, and I know that Joshua purchased and I purchased that house together. We fell behind on the payments. His stepfather took over the loan payment, paid it off, put it in his name.
Hold on, Ms. Perrine, I'm going to stop you right there. We are not going to discuss who owns or doesn't own. That is absolutely not.
I apologize.
Yeah.
I am working on moving, so because Joshua doesn't have a lot of family here in Washington, so I am working with a housing coordinator trying to be able to leave him that home.
Okay. So, Ms. Perrine, would you please, when you have vacated that residence for the last time, would you please let the city prosecutor or the DV advocate know, and then we can readdress the issue of the address on the no contact order, okay?
Yes, I've never vacated that residence, but once I do vacate it, yes, I will.
Thank you so much. All right.
Can we put a time stipulation on that?
No, Mr. Nesbitt, no.
Okay.
All right. This protection order is for 5 years.
Does that mean I can't talk to Danielle for 5 years?
That's correct. Not only can you not talk to her, you can have no contact whatsoever. And that's no phone calls, no texting, no anything on social media, nothing on social media. You cannot give messages to a friend or a family member to tell her. No contact whatsoever. Do you
Um,
understand, Mr. Nesbitt?
yeah, is there any way for her to request that that gets lifted? Like if I wanted to talk to her about saving what may be left of our relationship, like,
Mr. Nesbitt, that's not a conversation for today. Okay, certainly if Ms. Perrine in the future wants to have the order lifted, she can make that motion to the court. But we're not going to visit that today. Okay.
how would I go about
You need to talk
letting
to
her?
Yeah, you can't talk to her, you can't communicate with her. You can talk to your attorney about any issues with regard to the no contact order, and your attorney can assist you.
I just
Okay,
want to tell her that I still love her and that I don't
Mr.
want to
Nesbitt,
fight with
that's
her.
it's not appropriate to state that today. Okay. I understand that you have, emotions going on with this. This is a highly charged emotional situation. I understand that you and Ms. Perrine have a long relationship together, but all of those issues cannot be sorted out in this hearing. And I understand that is painful. And I understand you're in a place of vulnerability right now because you're in custody and because you're ill. But today is not the day that any of those issues are going to be addressed, okay?
When will I have a chance to, if I can't talk to her for 5 years, like, I don't know, when would I have a chance to tell her anything?
You cannot, not right
Yeah.
now.
So 5 years from now?
At this time, yes.
That's about the most devastating news yet.
I understand, and I certainly encourage you to talk to your attorney about that. Okay. So, with regard to this no contact order, this is a replacement order for the order that was previously entered. I think we've discussed thoroughly all of the ramifications of this new order. The only difference is the 1,000-foot distance from Ms. Perrine, her residence, her school if she attends school, her work if she works, and her person and her vehicle. All right, and I am signing that order today. Now, let's address that review matter. Mr. Gunderson, on the cause number ending in 954. This is a stipulated order of continuance matter. It's still in an SOC position. What's your position on this today?
Your Honor, I'm requesting to revoke based on new law violations.
Okay. I am going to note your motion to revoke. We will address it at a later time because there's a lot that's happened today. And I do want to give Ms. Ambart Sumian time to talk with her client about what that motion to revoke means. Given the number of new violations, it's likely that the court will revoke the stipulated order of continuance based on the violation of the contract. So I will note the city's motion to revoke. It will remain at 50,000 on the review matter. All right, now turning to the pretrial matter. That is 4A0509-654. Ms. Sambert-Sumian?
You're just asking for a continuance for 1 week since he has the new arraignments. I think it makes sense to just have them all tracked together. We have a calendar, I believe, next week. That's in person. So I would just ask for all of his cases to be moved to that date.
All right, July 10th at 9 o'clock. That will be granted.
Thank you, Honor.
Bail will remain at 50,000 on that matter as well. All right, so all of these matters are going to be heard. First of all, Madam Clerk, I did an order on review and a motion to continue on the cause number ending in 954. I am asking you to trash the order on review so we don't have duplicates. And I signed the motion to continue on the review matter. All right, so on all of these matters, the bail will remain at 50,000 and the new no contact order will be sent to you at the jail, Mr. Nesbitt, and certainly if you are able to post the bonds on these matters, do abide by all conditions of release and including that protection order. It is very important that you abide by that protection order at this time. I understand that you're feeling, frustration with the inability to have contact with Ms. Perrine right now. No contact orders can change in the future. This is the order for today, and so that I just want you to, I understand it's for 5 years, but they oftentimes do change down the road. It could stay the same or it could change. So, but for right now, just focus on, moving through all of these cases. I know you have a lot on your plate. So work with your attorney to do that. Mr. Gunderson or Ms. Sambert-Sumian, do you have anything further on the Nesbitt matter?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
That's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, and
Who's bail?
whether or not Mr. Nesbitt remains in custody, excuse me, the next hearing will be on July 10th. So Mr. Nesbitt, if you, excuse me, if you're able to post the bond, please contact the court to make sure you know what time you need to appear for court next Wednesday, okay?
Okay, how much was bail again? I'm sorry.
It's 50,000 on each, so a total of 200.
I'll be in custody. That's
All right, we will see you next week, Mr. Nesbitt, and that concludes this hearing, and I'll give the parties a moment to get the Enum Claw matters ready to go. Thank you.
200K.
Are we done, Sabita?
Yeah, you can say.
All right. So it's bail's at 200,000 or something ridiculous.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.